This video I'll be sharing some tools that you can use to improve your immune system. And the first one we're going to dive into is simply the lifestyle. And one of the biggest problems these days is that we're in a constant state of stress. And stress is not a bad thing, but the problem comes when we get caught up in the stress. So we're thinking stressful thoughts, we have a stressful job, our diet promotes inflammation, we don't exercise, our lifestyle is sedentary, and we barely move. So that is basically the worst case scenario, and sadly a lot of people are living that way, and that is highly going to compromise our immune system. It's going to be function terribly, but thankfully there are many different tools that we can use to negate this, and we shouldn't aim for perfection, but we don't want to be that worst case scenario where everything we're doing is promoting stress and causing us to get stressed. So that way we're never going to get out of the stressful state. So a lot of these things that I was sharing, they are basically causing stress to us, but then our body is able to adapt to it, and our immune function gets actually stronger from the stress. So stress is not a bad thing, it's actually a good thing that can make us stronger, but it's important that we don't get caught up in a state of stress. So when it comes to lifestyle, there are going to be many different things that influence our immune system, and the most important one is simply going to be sleep. So one of the best things that you can do to improve your sleep is that you wake up and go to sleep the same time of day. So what you're essentially doing is that you're programming your body to fall asleep in this time period. And one thing that has been extremely helpful to me is just have an alarm go off 1.5 hours before I'm supposed to go to sleep, because then I know it's time to wind down. And I also have a little ritual where I take a bunch of supplements, but I'll be diving into that on the nutrition part. So sleep is the biggest one when it comes to lifestyle, and then there's going to be things like work, our thoughts. So three of the biggest things that has completely changed my health and strengthened my immune system is meditation, cold showers, and Wim Hof breathing. And Wim Hof breathing is just a breathing method where we're taking about 30 breaths, and then we're holding that breath for 2 minutes, and we're repeating that for 3 rounds total. And it's unbelievable how powerful that is. It lowers our blood pressure, it reduces stress, strengthens our immune system, so all of that good stuff. And cold showers are just amazing, because it's one of those things that it causes short-term stress, and then it actually makes us stronger in the long run. So that is something that I highly been enjoying. And these days I usually take a 5-minute cold shower, but in the beginning I was struggling to last 1 minute. So if you want to start easy, you can start with having it hot first, and then you switch over to the cold, and you stand in the cold for only 15 seconds, because anyone can do that, and then you can simply build from there. So, and the final one is meditation, and it's rare that I start the day without my meditation practice, and it's actually quite ironic, because some days I get stressed out because I haven't done my meditation practice, which is ironically something I'm doing to feel good and feel better about myself. But yeah, meditation, I made a video about it a while back, so you guys can check out that if you like. But the main intention with it is just simply relax, get in a state of presence, and on the days where I don't perform my meditation practice, I get reminded why I do it, because the return on time on investment is just crazy. Because if I meditate for 1 hour, I will get back that and then some in one day. Just in terms of that, I'm so much more efficient. I'm able to actually concentrate on what I'm doing. My mind is not all over the place, which I think is one of the biggest problems right now in in today's society, when we have these phones that are filled with dopamine, and they're just so damn good at catching our attentions, and it has been reducing our ability to focus. So meditation is a huge one for me, and I definitely recommend everyone having a practice, whether you're doing 1 minute per day or you're doing 3 hours. The key importance is to get it in there. So And when it comes to lifestyle, there are many other small factors as well. So, for example, most deodorants and soap that we're consuming, they have chemicals that are actually terrible for our body. So, for example, in most deodorants, there's going to be aluminium and alcohol. And I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to rub that on my skin. So I made sure to get a aluminium and alcohol-free deodorant. So that are some of the lifestyle things. And right here I've written exercise, and this is a big one, but I also want to highlight the fact that if you're training or exercising too much and you can't recover from it, it's actually going to be decreasing your immune system rather than improving it. So we want to make sure that the amount of training and exercise we're exposing ourselves to, that we actually can recover from it, because otherwise if we're pushing ourselves too hard, we might get better at our sport or in the gym, whatever it might be, but it's going to compromise our health and our immune system. So that is definitely something to be wary about. And I'm a huge fan of using deloads and periodization. So what that means basically is that when I'm doing a training cycle, I will start light. I will start light the first week. Second week, I push myself a little harder. Third week, even a little harder. Fourth week, even a little harder. And then back to the fifth week, I start over. So the fifth week is just a deload week. So I have an easy week, slightly harder week, slightly harder week, slightly harder week, and then we have the deload in the final. So constantly pushing myself, but giving myself the time to recover every fourth week. So that is very important when it comes to both our immune system and our progress overall, because if we're just constantly stressing ourselves and exposing ourselves to more training, it's not going to be productive. We're going to struggle to recover from it, and it's actually negative instead of positive. So that is a hugely important one. And just a side note with exercise is that both walking and physical exercise for only 30 minutes has been shown in various studies to increase our mood to the same extent that SSRIs does. So that is something that's very profound, and if you don't like to exercise, I would recommend that you at least walk 3 times per week, just so. And I mean, like, you don't have to take it from me, but just try it for a week and see how you feel. I'm sure you'll be hesitant to go back. At least that was my experience when I first started getting into walking, even back when I was obese. So final one is going to be nutrition. And like I said, there's a lot of our diets today are just created to spike dopamine for us and make them addictive, but the problem with them is that most of them are highly inflammatory. So they're causing an inflammatory and negative response in our body, and what we can consume instead is basically whole foods. Most of them are completely fine, so things like fruits, vegetables are going to be the best ones, but things like nuts, seeds, all of that good stuff. So one super helpful guideline is that the less ingredients something has, the better it is, and if there's anything in it that you can't pronounce, you probably shouldn't eat it. So those are 2 super helpful guidelines. So I won't be getting into this too much because it's such a broad topic, but like I said, sticking to whole foods is always a great idea, and they just contain more nutrients, make us feel full, make us perform better, all of that good stuff. So, and on the same one, I'm also going to touch a little bit on supplements, because supplements are not important, but they can definitely help you out. So for example, I'm living in Sweden right now. We get very little sun in these months. So right now I'm supplementing with vitamin D, which has been proven to strengthen the immune system. And it's especially important if you're like me, where you're living in Sweden, Finland, something like that, where you don't have any sun exposure. So then it's quite crucial actually to take a vitamin D supplements during the winter months. So vitamin D is going to be a huge one. Magnesium and zinc is great. I personally like to take them a couple of hours before I go to bed, because they also help me make me sleep better. So then we're also improving our lifestyle at the same time. Win-win. And omega-3 is also going to be incredibly helpful because a lot of people are missing in those, and yes, some type of fish oil supplement is what I'm doing right now, but you can also get them from your diet. So it depends really, because I'm a person, I don't consume a whole lot of fish, and sometimes I have flank seeds in my shakes, and flank seeds are very dense in omega-3, but I'm basically taking the supplements just to be on the safe side, and a lot of people, myself included, find that omega-3 helps to reduce muscle soreness, so allows me to get in more training, so that is, and improve my recovery. So that is something that's extremely helpful for me, and that was everything. So hope you guys liked this video, and take care.